Let's start the show. Let's start the show. The Wellness Podcast tonight. Mind as a service show. We get it. We starting to go. Let's go. Then we got let's do it. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome to the Wellness Podcast. Yes, we are back. Mind as a service show. Let me find my headphones because when Dr. AE come on, we don't want no echoes and shit like that, so we got to do it right. We got to get the headphones ready for everybody. And, keep it kosher, keep it cool, keep it collective, and keep it correct. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to make sure that we get a way for our TikTok viewers to, be able to tap on in with us. But just let's check it out. Let's get back to the music. Let's get back to what we here for. You already know. Let's entertain. Let's entertain with entertainment. Let's go back with the great Prince, the purple one, motherfucking Prince. Come on, Dr. A. Come on to this mother, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, bro? Hold on. Wait. God damn it, move too fast. All right. What's going on, my brother? What's happening with you? We back
Hey,
in
good
here.
evening, brother.
Let me put my headphones on.
Okay.
What's up?
Hanging
Let's
in
see.
there,
Let me
brother.
change. I gotta change my audio settings for this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. We in here. We good. Hey, TikTok man, we gonna be back. Y'all cannot hear me, so if you want to listen to the show with me and Dr. AE, the show is called Mind as a Service Show tonight. I gotta put them on the headphones because I'm in the garage. Shit. We're going to have a great show tonight. Y'all tune in. You know what I'm saying? We already got it started great. So y'all switch over to YouTube. Come on and plug into the show tonight. Have some fun with us on the Willis Podcast. The Mind as a Service Show. We're going to get into some good moments. And with my brother in arms, the forever one that always was with his dukes up and something to say, Dr. A.E. Because what did he tell you? He said, I say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, one love. So y'all tune in with me on TikTok. Go to the Will Is Podcast on YouTube. We about to have a ball. Stay tuned. The will is yours. Peace. All right. So you know what I'm saying. We got that done. But we're gonna put some shorts out tonight. We're gonna get a lot for the folks. We blast off on all platforms on this show here, the Will Is Podcast. Here we go. Yeah, we back. Mind as a Service Show. Me and Dr. A had to link up for a good strong show today. Because we supposed to go on yesterday, but we do what we do. We got a lot of shit going on. We're two talented brothers that's always looking for that way of making sure we bringing it home for you guys at all times. Let me get my camera right. Yeah, I'm tripping. So hold on, okay. All right, here we go. You see, you see the big got fixed. Y'all see the big got fixed. But anyway, come on, Dr. A.E. Here we go. Mind as a Service Show, discovering your own mind. See, you was born with one, but you was, taught by so many different outside apparatuses, including, what was good and what was bad. Your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, your siblings. All of these outside entities with their own mind had something to do with how you think today, whether good or for bad or whatever's in between. But when you think about having your own mind and using your mind as a service, you have to discover that you have your specific one that's totally, designed and orchestrated for you, fitting for you. It has your name written all over it. Now, keep in mind, you understand your brain is the association that you have to have with mind. So mind and brain doesn't see anything. It doesn't touch anything. It doesn't feel anything, but it retrieves, it collects, it restores, it understands, it protects. It does everything your vessel cannot do for itself, no matter how you train it, no matter how you position yourself to be as strong as you can be, because all of that's coming from your mind. So if you don't understand how you can do all of that with your body, but if what if you're not doing it? What if you don't understand your mind got muscles too? Muscle memory, things that it has to be aware of, things that you have to construct for yourself and do for yourself in order to protect yourself. And you have to surround yourself with people that will do the same. That's a lot of responsibility for something that can't see, smell, touch, hear. It has no, the only thing it has is its tools that it can't do nothing but construct. So, Dr. A.E., first what moment, take it away. Discovery, your own mind. You got it.
It's a process, right? Um, as we as we grow older, we um, we develop, and then there's there are different processes that we have to go through, right? Um, and I want to talk about two right quick that we really should delve into quickly. Um, the one is the more ancient, right, which was taught many, many, many moons ago in what was called the initiate schools.
Oh,
And they say that Moses, as well as Yeshua or Jesus, both went to these initiate schools and taught them how to utilize more maximum potential of their brain. They said that in normal modern times, we use less than it's really less than 20% of
less than
our.
five.
Well, yeah, some say less than five, but I'm I'm trying to give an idea there. But yeah, they say less than 5% of our brain's capacity, right, and what we can do with it. And so, in the initiate schools, and the last initiate school was closed in the 6th century Justinian Empire, right, with the Justinian Empire. Now, these initiate schools were said to teach people how to do all types of things and maximize their brain. They were able to levitate. They were able
Teleport.
to teleport, walk on water, all of those different things because they could use a much larger percentage of their brain. And using that much larger percentage allowed them to do these things. And again, it was said that both Moses and Jesus went to these initiate schools.
As
And
well as Arius of Libya. Went to that.
Socrates as well. Now,
Socrates as well.
Socrates was and is considered the most prominent European to have gone to an initiate school, and it was said that it took him 7 years to even get accepted. And then once he got accepted, he was there for quite some time. And then,
Hippocrates, Plato,
right,
uh,
well, the thing about it is everybody after him were studied under.
under
So the idea was that this was also why he was killed because he was declared a heretic, right?
a
That he was
heretic.
able to do these things.
All these
No
works.
European could understand how he was able to do these various things with his mind. So he was ultimately considered a heretic. And then, of course,
He was a witch.
um, you had his quote unquote students, or for that lack of well, for the term of that time, his disciples, right? His
Yes.
students.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you get to Aristotle, Plato, all of those.
All those other after. Yeah,
So that's the more ancient, right?
absolutely,
And we're still really talking about the usage of the mind, right? So
absolutely.
now, when we look in today's time, right, and we can just look in the United States, right? Here's the thing: um, our grade school education, right, is teaching us the basics, um, but they're infusing these cultural norms and societal norms that are created primarily from one culture. And we know
And even in the West,
that's white Anglo-Saxon,
they started with the Greeks. Even in the West,
right?
they started
But
with the Greeks.
I want to stick to modern so people can really understand. Right
Got it, got it,
now,
got it, got it,
when
got
we're looking at today's time, right? When
it.
you
Yeah.
go to the next level, um, when you go to college and when you get degrees and certifications and things of that
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
the next level
Oh yeah.
of thinking is what we call critical and analytical thinking, right?
That's right.
Needs to be able to take information in and then decipher that information and use that information and analyze that information, right?
That's it. That's
Now,
it.
here's
That's
the
it.
thing we have to understand: for a long period of time, that type of education and thinking was held back from blacks. Even our original HBCUs, I'm just going to call it like it is, and you can look at it. In particular, it was called the
The
Hampton
Hampton.
model, right?
Yeah, the Hampton
And
model
at
from
Hampton,
Virginia. Yeah.
they were they were teaching mainly trades and teaching literacy so that they could go back to the former plantations and teach others, right? But they were known specifically not to teach critical and analytical thinking because they still wanted black people to simply be workers and part of the workforce.
And that's why agriculture, those two taught, those schools had those particular studies with agriculture and things of that nature, trying to embed the ideology of just a worker's mentality. But yes, sir, that I'm
Right.
just fortifying and
Right. And
saluting and
so
yeah,
then, of course, Hampton's most prized pupil and the best pupil they had went on to create his own model, right? And that was
right.
Booker T. Washington. And
Booker
Booker
T.
T.
Washington
Washington goes to Tuskegee, and he creates the Tuskegee model
Institute.
because he includes agricultural education and so it's still though this education,
Workers
right, that is
forward
about
ability.
working
It's
and
not
not
a bit.
about
It's not
creating
business.
analytical thinking skills.
Right.
And so I use both of those two examples to demonstrate, right, that with our minds, as we grow and develop our minds, right, we have to develop in terms of how we're going to receive information, synthesize that information, and use that information, right? And that the ideology of learning critical and analytical thinking is not pushed in this country because they're really more concerned with creating workers
Correct.
and
Yes,
not
sir.
leaders.
That's right.
And so and this again it was thought of, and some of it, not all of it, but some of it was thought of back with some of our leading in the early 1900s, some of our leading
We gotta pause. We gotta pause because
millionaires.
the next whip moment is gravitate. We kind of going into a lot of the whip moments uh, because of the educational level that we do have collectively, but we got to stick to the script. So the next whip
Okay,
moment
let's
is,
go.
mind as a service. So if your mind is going to be as a service, you got to understand what educating is. Educating yourself uh, specifically. So when you educate yourself specifically, what do you educate yourself on? You educate yourself on you because you are the what? You're the main attraction. If they got your mind, they got you. They got everything you are predicated upon. So if you don't know you, how could you possibly get to the best version of you? Because being the best version of you is predicated upon how much you know about yourself. Hey, E, take it away. We got to get going.
Well, that's the self knowledge part, right?
Mind.
That's
This
the
is
other
your mind as a service. That's the show. You know the
right.
show.
This is this is another type of learning that has to come with cognitive skills in development, right? Learning what your strengths and weaknesses are, working on those weaknesses as well as those strengths, right? Understanding that, and I'll just use myself as a quick example. It didn't take me long to know that I was the opposite of you, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? You're a strong engineer, mathematics, all of that good stuff. Um, it didn't take me long to recognize that that was my weakness. And I'm gonna tell you how I knew. And I won't. I know we want to move right on to the
What moment?
next whip moment.
Yes, sir.
So quickly, um, I had the ability when I was young. I could still do it, but not as strong as I was when I was young, teenage and early 20s, and even up into the late 20s, early 30s, where I could see words, right? When I was taking a test, I could actually look up and I could see my notes and I could flip through the pages and read those notes, right? Now, on the flip side of that, though, I know people that can do numbers like that, right? You can give them all of these mathematical equations, they can look up, they can see the numbers. I can't. When I see numbers and I move that number one time, it's gone. I don't care if it's a simple addition. You say 583 plus 1,986. When you start going that number, I got to try to reimagine the first number again. I can't do numbers like that, but I can see words. You see what I'm saying? And I used to
But
be
that's
able
where
to see
you.
my
That's where
notes
you
and things of that nature.
strong at. That's where
So
you
right, that's
powerful
what I'm
at.
saying. It, and I learned that at an early age. That's the point. So we can move on, and it's understanding that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So let's get to the next what moment, man. The next what moment is piloting. When you're piloting yourself, you're piloting your ideas. First of all, you're giving an idea, whether it be of whatever form of education. See, I know people like your homeboys. I give a shout out to my homeboy Wiley Upshaw. He says that he learned his skill set from a crackhead. He got good at it, and that same skill set pays him in his roofing. Knowing how to lay roof, knowing how to be a roofer, knowing how to be able to lay them slats, or know how to, basically, it's a skill set, it's an art to it, it's craftsmanship, and when you know you do a good job, because you can tell it within your work instantly, and the money most of the time in that type of shit, that type of field is instant. So it's plotting how you going to get to your next destination through a skill. Your skill set is your apparatus. That's your avenue. That's your car. That is your platform. That is everything that you fucking got to get where you got to go. So anything you got to do, you got to pilot it. You got to pilot it. So you need what can you pilot if you don't have a skill set? That's your plane. That's your way to make money to get to some more money. Hey E, come on, tell me how you gotta get something to pilot, man. You gotta get an apparatus to pilot. So go ahead, let me know what you think about that.
Well, it's that now comes to the choice, right? You're going to choose and how much you're going to dedicate yourself to it, right? And again, I'm using the best example that I know. That's me, right? With then dealing with the math, right?
Right.
I um I was determined when I was in the eighth grade, ninth grade, that I wasn't going to let algebra beat me. You know,
Mm,
I wasn't gonna let it
yeah.
beat me, and
Yeah.
so I did have to. You have to be you have to recognize your strengths and weaknesses, know who you are, right? So
That's right.
I stopped taking the what they call the advanced, and I took just the regular, regular algebra.
Right.
Wasn't the college preparatory algebra, but it was the regular algebra. But I
Right.
learned in the regular algebra because it was taught at a different pace for me,
Right.
and so and I got it, and I finally got algebra to a certain level, right? And
Right.
then once I got it, I don't know what my parents were thinking. I guess because they love you, want you to do the best and think it. My parents then told me to try trigonometry, and I was like, "What?" And so I tried trigonometry. I got my first F, and they were like, "Okay, never mind." And I had a tutor.
They just couldn't.
I
They
had a,
couldn't leave you welling up alone. That's what they was doing.
I had a tutor, and I still
Still
came
wasn't
home
connected.
with the flagpole. So so they I left it alone then. I left it
Right.
alone, you know.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say it's that choice though. I was determined not to let algebra beat me. And you have to, even if you have to change pace, I had to go from this advanced algebra to just regular algebra, slow algebra. I mean, algebra that was taught at a much slower pace for me to get it. And so that's with in life, right? If you really want something, you're going to learn it. Now may have to change paces. You may even have to take something once or twice. You may have to take it 3 times. But if you want it bad enough, you'll go till you get it, and that's the
Well, college.
determination. Is so.
Same for here. College algebra, I failed because I was so many years out of high school when I took college algebra. I had to take a remedial course just to take the actual college algebra that you're supposed to take. So don't get me wrong. Even though I was an engineer and all of that, that doesn't equate to specific equation and rules and how you got to certain things in the first place. Yeah, it comes back in memory, but you don't have time for taking that. I took accelerated college courses. I didn't have 16 weeks. I had to get that shit. I get all my shit done in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. So my shit was, and I had a full-time job. So I had to get a degree. I had a bachelor's in network communications management, architecture, and design. Had a full-time job working in the industry, and still had a full-time student schedule. That's just Danny Willis, though. That ain't for everybody. I don't advise it. I would tell you never to do that shit, but I did it. That's what the fuck I did, like a maniac. Full-time job as a consultant, and a full-time college student, trying to solidify my skill sets within what I'm actually doing in real time, and actually very fucking good at it too. So it was, my degree didn't help me. It didn't do shit for me. I promise you, it didn't. I was already working in my field and had a master level skill set in my field. So we got to get to the next book moment. It's called, this is just to let you know, this show is called Mindset as a Service. So after you get through piloting things, after you get through understanding and reassuring, and it's called a true up. You true up to know how you can open or how you can set the stage to how you're going to go or how you're going to put something in production, even putting yourself in production. If you understand how to get an operating system, if you got an operating system and you got and you have you got dashboards and you got a system, you got things you want to learn the analytics and all of these things. But before you even get to all of that, you got to open. Dr. AE, take it away. What happens when you start a business? Isn't that your opening? Take it away.
Well, that's putting several components together now, and that's a skill that you have to develop, right? Because when you're starting something, particularly a business, right, you have to wear several different hats. So you may have to learn some quick accounting skills. You have to get better at your management, project management, and people management skills. You have to make that decision between micromanagement and macro management. So those are all types of things that you have to consider and juggle at the same time. And so you may end up trying to learn several different skills at the same time. But sometimes it's like they say, sometimes you have to fly the airplane and build it at the same
But build
time.
at the same time. You better tell the truth, man. That's just what it is. Sometimes, even in this process, how much do we communicate about building a successful platform, having successful exchanges, doing this show, and how, God willing, I'm on your show too, and how we orchestrate and how we do everything. Like, we really, even for what we do on this platform, we have to have a game plan. We have to go back and forth. We have to, a lot of times, we love to do, be improv. We love to improv, but we love to communicate and we love our relationship. So when we get on these airwaves and we change back and forth on this broadcast, we do one thing: we perform. That's the opening. Every show we do, it's an opening to this summit, and we got to do what? We got to perform to get to the solution, the characterization, the ending, and the salute to let people know what we coming back again, right? Ain't that right?
This is true. This is true.
So, in order for us to even have these openings, what do we do? Every time we do our shows, every time we live our lives, every time we even communicate with each other, we apply. We practice application. Hey, E, take it away.
Well, that's the thing, though. Sometimes you have to develop these skills as you apply them. That's the same thing we just said, right? About flying the plane and building at the same time.
Application.
Um, so a lot of that application is trial and error. But the thing about it is still that fortitude of what you're going to have. How bad do you want it?
We got to get to that.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
are you
Yep.
going to keep trying when is you're going to be unsuccessful? Are you going to keep being unsuccessful until you get it right?
Or are we
That's
going to keep.
fortitude.
This is the next whoop moment. That leads us into the next whoop moment. It's called reviving. So when we, look how we hit our little stride. We kept reviving our back and forth, our, how we gonna connect, how we gonna go back. We kept reviving that. We kept trusting each other. We kept understanding that the pendulum coming back my way. So we kept reviving, and that brought about evolving.
It's
When you
true.
know how to breathe, we know how to revive each other back and forth. We starting to evolve. Ain't that how businesses go? Take it
Yeah.
away, AE.
Well, that's development. I mean, that's that in a nutshell, right? It's the development. You know, people people think that some things are going to happen overnight, and sadly enough, we're living in this society, particularly with young people, because everything is quote unquote. Well, I like used to tell my students, everything you all trying to make everything on demand, and you can't make everything on demand. And so the issue is, are you going to put in um, the time that is going to take to develop to get where you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to
Yeah.
stick with it?
And then let's just add this to it too, because actually, when you get to that point of evolution, you got to revamp. You got to have somewhere else to go. You got to maintain a vision. That same evolution that got you there is the same mindset of evolution, the same hunger, thirst, all that shit you got to maintain to even revamping. Everything got to go into revamping, reorchestrating, pivoting higher if you want to survive. Hey, take it away.
Well, I mean, that's the adjustments everybody has to make, right?
Yes.
The adjustments in time, there's adjustments to your environment. There's just all that's how it is. You know, someone once said, you know, those that are going to succeed is not actually about how much they know, but how much they are willing to adapt. Because when you're willing to adapt, that automatically means that you have to be willing to learn and try something new
Mm.
in order to adapt to anything that changes. You have to learn to coincide with that change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to learn a new way, so to speak, or you got to learn uh, a new skill in certain cases. But it's how you're going to adapt.
Yeah. And how you're gonna, and that's that revamping mechanism. That's what you're talking about. Adapt. That's that revamping. But this is the last whoop
Right.
moment for the night. Last whoop moment for the night, and it's uh. So as you see, we went through the discovery of your mind, educating, piloting, opening, application, reviving, evolution, revamping, and guess what? Once you keep good notes, because every engineer, every doctor, every person that I know, that's why you had to write a dissertation. Every engineer writes a dissertation every time he puts his hand on how to reapply redo something that he can do better than that last time that he did it. That's the life of an engineer. So it's the reapplying, the reapplication. You keep reapplying the same principles, the same time, a new way, a more formidable way, a better way, a more applicable way, a way that makes more sense, a way that's more easier, so to speak. But if you're gonna do so, you have to learn what, AE, to understand the art of reapplying. What you gotta learn?
Well, you is learning whatever is required at that point. So the mindset is having the understanding that and the willingness to change is needed. To learn as learning is needed. To adapt as needed. To, whether it calls for revamping or actually rediscovering a whole new skill.
We're still breathing.
Yep.
We're,
And the problem is many don't, right? And it's not just personal. Um, I'm finding that a lot with our HBCU institutions, right? We aren't being the forward thinkers we should be, and then by the time the PWIs get on it and they start doing it, then all of a sudden we want to get involved, and it's too late. The best professors are gone. They getting the money. They getting the seed money from the state and everything else to get the program going when we should have had the forethought to do it. And for me, it hits home real easy because I told about 4 different HBCUs over the last what, I guess since about 2018, that public history is the route now. You know, that traditional history, you're only talking about 2 things there. You either going to teach, whether you teaching in grade school or teaching as a professor, or you're going to go on to law school, right? And so the future, though, when people start seeing that, you know, there's other avenues to get to law school now. You got political science, you got the other, you know, English, you got all these other routes to get to law school. And so I was trying to tell them that it's public history now because it's more interdisciplinary. We're talking about museums, libraries, um, we're talking about documentaries, films, all of these things. Public, we're talking about historic. dealing with historic sites, putting up these historic markers, being at parks, doing the site stuff for parks, being a park ranger, all of that kind of stuff now opens up with public history. And so now, you got HQ say, okay, yeah, we need to do it. Well, doggone it. You sitting right next to University of, you only 40, 50 miles or 100 miles from University of Florida. They started their public history program 5 years ago. How you gonna catch up now? They already got the state to give them $5 million to get the program going. How you gonna get your program going now? So it's the being. You also have to be a forward thinker, right? If you're
Yes,
willing to adapt, you got to
vision.
see. You got to have the vision. Exactly. You got to have the vision. And I'll leave it at that.
I just want to add before we get up out of here because I think this was a phenomenal show as we always do and how we carry on what we do. Man, I love you. You my brother, man. We're going to rock this thing till the wheels fall off. Y'all already know that public. You know me and my brother,
Yes,
Dr.
we are.
A.E. We don't, we are not here to pacify and satisfy everything that people want. Breaking up, brother. You breaking up. Something happened, man. You went dark and everything.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna put him on pause until he comes back. Till I see him come back. But me and Dr. A ain't here to pacify you. We here to tell you the truth. Let the chips fall where they may. And y'all can deal with it at the end of the day because what we're trying to do is make sure you understand that, people don't build infrastructures. Here you go, he back. So what we're trying to help you understand is, can you hear me, Dr. A? You back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Oh, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. Okay. Let me see if your volume on. Yeah, your volume on. Anything. Anyway, we're finna close the show out anyway, so I'm just happy to have you back. So we can just let you know. Dr. A.E. and I are not here to fluff your rabbit tail. We're here to let you know how there are a whole lot of perspectives. There are a whole lot of things that people are not even trying to make you aware of because they have what you would call a mindset of their own. What we're trying to help you to develop is a mindset as a service for yourself. There's infrastructure as a service. There's software as a service. There's so many as a services. These are mainframes. These are apparatuses. But so are you as an individual. So let me see if Dr. A.E. if you can say something. Let me see if you can hear me. Let me check my mic and shit. Let me go here. Let me go check my settings because he had to go on off for a second. Let me make sure. Check the audio. Yeah, everything is good, man. I can't hear you, but say something right now. Hold on, let me see something. Because they may be able to hear you. I can't. Say something else. I hate that shit. Y'all gotta understand how irritating this shit is. And shit like that. But anyway, we gonna get up out of here. We've been going 45. You're gonna have to do some sign language since I can't hear you. But y'all know what it is. You know what we do tonight, and you know how we get down. You know how me and Dr. A go on. My brother from another mother, but we gonna always set it off y'all ass the right way. So you gotta do a little sign language for me, AE, because I can't hear you. They may not too, but you gonna stay you right here, 10 toes down with me, goddamn it. So here we go. The wheel is yours. Then I'm gonna step in for my brother. Be blessed, but he said, be blessed and One love. That's salute to my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll holler at you, bro. We'll talk. Peace. And y'all too. The world is yours, God. Mind as a service.